can't believe the Prime Minister said that. And on International Women's Day of all days.
Come on, he didn't actually say that women are making things worse for men. He said, we don't want to see women rise only on the basis of others doing worse. That does sound an awful lot like women are trying to make things worse for men.
We need to fix this. I booked him to speak at a Women in Leadership event and I've drafted the speech. Want to hear it?
Oh, of course. Who's this?
This is Banjo. I've asked him to demo the speech.
He looks like a mime.
Just listen. Seriously, just listen.
Especially on March 22nd, that's World Mime Day.
Oh.
Welcome to the show. Now, there's a lot to talk about in the news this week. A big story that's come out. Taxpayers could pay $1 billion to fund the retirements of politicians. I know. Said taxpayers, well, when can we start? I mean, can I give you literally all my money if you start right now? Just right now. This is interesting. Australia has failed to sign on to a United Nations International Women's Day statement calling for better abortion access. Scott Morrison made it clear that he doesn't want to see women getting better abortions on the basis of others getting worse abortions. In Canberra, a paraglider, this was the best video I've ever seen, has been attacked by a kangaroo as they tried to land. To be fair, I've often wanted to punch people who wear GoPros. Former Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull has claimed that he was sacked because the Liberal Party was afraid of winning. That and women. Rapper R. Kelly was released from prison last week after an anonymous benefactor paid his $227,000 in child support. And said John Howard, if you ever need a reference or anything, you just let me know. It's going to be fine. One Nation candidate Mark Latham has proposed DNA testing for people claiming Aboriginal status. Meanwhile, the Australian public has proposed DNA testing for Mark Latham before claiming human status. And finally, 116-year-old Japanese woman Kane Tanaka has been declared the world's oldest living person. Isn't that amazing? The previous record holder could not be reached for comment. Tonight on the show, poet Sean Whelan, comedy from musical guest Jude Pearl, and we are live all around Australia and Kangaroo Island, where they apparently hate GoPros. If you want to be part of our studio audience, you should hop to it. Get them hopping, voiceover!
That's right, May. If you'd like to be in tonight's live studio audience, you really should have organised it earlier because the show's already started and we've locked the doors. To join us in a future episode, go to the Mainland Tonight Facebook page for all the details. The audience should now be applauding.
I've been golfing so much.
Oh, golf.
I've been loving all this golfing. I've been been the golfiest golf that's ever golfed.
That's golf.
Golf.
I golf better though. Golf.
Okay, enough with the golf talk. Let's talk birdies. Apparently, the endangered black-throated finch is no match for our coal mine.
Damn right, we'll show that finch who's boss.
We need a plan.
No need to panic, boss. I have a plan.
Yeah, we'll adjust the side of the mine to preserve the bird's natural habitat.
Even better, we go ahead with the mine, but set aside a small patch of grass especially for the bird. We call it the Adani Conservation Area.
Adani is the only hope for this little bird.
Exactly.
I'm not sure your plan is going to ensure the black-throated finch's survival. And if you really want it to be extinct, this is a great way to do it.
How can you say that? Without the Adani Conservation Area, that bird wouldn't be protected.
What about the natural habitat that's allowed it to survive this long?
Habitat schmabitat. What Adani is offering here clearly rivals any natural habitat.
How is what you're offering any different to, say, a cow paddock?
Please, that bird doesn't need an area the size of a cow paddock. Have you seen it? It's like this big.
Is that to scale?
Well, oh, no, that is the actual patch of grass.
I think we can come up with some better ways to save this bird.
We can put a sprinkler on the grass.
I bet our mine could stop this bird from becoming endangered.
It already is endangered. That's why we're having this discussion.
Looks like we haven't built our mine fast enough.
Imagine what else our amazing Adani mine could do. Why stop at saving just one bird?
You do realise that we're trying to save an entire species here, not just that one bird. Is that why that patch of grass is so small?
What if our mine could save every endangered species in the state? We can set aside a patch of grass for all the humans in Queensland, keep them safe from crocodiles.
Well, that'll destroy even more of the bird's habitat.
We could get the humans to share their patch of grass with the finches to save on costs.
This coal mine will also drain 12.5 billion litres of water from drought-stricken Queensland.
We can remove the sprinkler.
Surely there's a better way.
How can you be so negative about this? Our mine could create world peace.
Help us live on other planets.
Discover God.
All right.
The Adani mine
See you
could
later.
end.
I'm going to do a bit of golfing.
The Adani mine could end poverty.
$1 a day? More like Adani a day.
There's nothing this Adani mine can't do.
Well, I'm pretty sure it can't improve your golf game. I'll get your clubs.
Yeah, that's right. And please keep that applause going for Banjo, my lovable silent sidekick. Now, as we discovered in the cold open, March 22 is World Mime Day. That must be pretty exciting for you, right, Banjo? Yeah? Ever big get together with all your mime mates? No? Why not? They're giving you the silent treatment? Well, that's so mean. We'll celebrate with you, won't we, audience? Yeah? They love you, yes. The silent applause rings through. And now it's time for Cast and Crew Pet Awards. So, the first pet that we're going to give an award to tonight belongs to our executive producer. This is Dean Watson's dog, Simba. And he was awarded most likely to open his Tinder bio with beach beer babes. Our next pet belongs to one of our cast members. This is Nathan Ware's dog, Gus. And he was awarded most likely to fetch tennis balls nobody threw. Our next pet belongs to another one of our cast members. This is Carly Ellis's cat, Bubba. I know. And he was awarded Best Sharon Stone. Our next pet belongs to one of our writers. This is Benji Rothman's dog, Mo. And he was awarded most likely to pick up Foxtel reception. Our next pet belongs to another one of our writers. This is Mitchell Laddam's parrot, Archie. And he was awarded most meticulously groomed chin-strap beard. Our next pet belongs to our audience warm-up. These are Rakesh Martin's dogs, Sophia and Coco. And they were awarded the Donald and Melania Award for Emotional Intimacy. Our next pet belongs to our lighting assistant. This is Gian's dog, Maggie, and she was awarded Fiercest Handbag Accessory. Our next pet belongs to one of our writers. This is Paul Ryan's cat, Maisie, named after me. No, it's not true. Anyway, she was awarded most likely to contain a canary. And finally, our last pet belongs to our set designer. This is V. Sober's cat, Odgie, cutest name ever, and he was awarded Grilled Employee of the Month. Please, a round of applause for all of our cast and crew's magnificent pets. Ah, so sweet. Tonight's guest is a poet. Please welcome Sean Whelan. Yeah.
Thank you.
There we go. How you doing, Sean? You having a nice time?
I'm excellent. Thank
Can
you
I
for asking.
Congratulate you, honestly. I've talked before about the fact that I love the fact that this shirt matches this desk, and your shirt matches the background very well.
Isn't that amazing?
I feel
I'm
we've
very glad to
coordinated
accommodate. This is one of
perfectly.
my favourite shirts, possibly my favourite shirt, actually.
Are
Although
all-
they're kind of like my children. I hate to have favourites.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, are all poets incredibly fashionable? Is that our standard?
Oh, no, not at all.
Really?
No, I think it's more of a rarity, to be honest.
Fair enough. Now, when you were growing up, what kind of lawyer did your parents want you to be? Was that just you, or was that because that happened to me? My parents would have loved me to go into commercial law.
No, there was none of that. I actually wanted to be a helicopter pilot when I was a kid for
Oh,
some
really?
weird reason. Yeah.
Oh, that's not weird at all. I would love to be a helicopter pilot.
That didn't quite pan out.
No. Well, fair enough. I feel like poetry's a little safer. And
In some regards.
yeah. And was there something in particular that pulled you into it initially?
I was very fascinated by novelists, actually. I really liked the dirty realist, who are this sort of American school of writing, which is very clear, concise prose. But I also love the magical realists of sort of South America, who had this very florid, sort of surrealist kind of prose.
Sure.
And I ended up pitching myself somewhere in between dirty magic and magic realism. No, sorry. Magic realism and the other one. And it became dirty magic.
Dirty magic?
Yeah.
I like
dirty
it.
realism and magic realism.
If you haven't already named your autobiography Dirty Magic, I think that might be
Oh, yeah,
the
that's a
title,
good
mate.
choice.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
I'll
I
get in
like
touch with my publisher that doesn't exist yet.
Yeah. Cool. And do you remember the first poem you ever wrote?
I do, actually. It's very embarrassing.
I was going to say, I hope it's terrible.
I don't remember the actual text, but it was in high school. It was a poem about breakdancing, because I had a bit of a crew going on in Mainland High School. And it was about just us being a breakdance crew.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Well, that's better than me. I wrote terrible poetry about what I thought was teenage heartbreak, but was actually indigestion. So.
Oh, right. Well, that's the sort of poetry I write now, actually. Or the heartbreak
I'm sure
stuff.
you're better at it than me. But you're not, and the other thing is, you're not just a poet. You do lots of things. I know
I
that
sure
you
do.
are a DJ.
Yes.
And a marriage celebrant.
Yes.
Yeah. And how does that go? Do those kind of
They
weave
complement
together?
each other very well, actually, because often I will marry them and then I'll DJ the reception.
It's great. And do you write? I mean, do you write poetry for the reception or for the wedding? Or?
Yeah, I've written poetry for weddings, and even without writing, I sort of bring a sense of poetry to the ceremonies. Like, I don't think I ever would have become a marriage celebrant if I hadn't been a poet first.
Yeah.
Because that taught me the art of public speaking.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Do you feel that it's important to perform your poems? Like, you could just sit in a garret and write them, right?
Yeah, it's important to me. I don't think it should be important for all poets, because writing is a really lonely business. It's something you do in a room on your own. The beauty of performing my work is to get it out, and it's kind of like an act of instant publication, and to get that feedback from an audience and to get that river that runs between you and the audience is very, very satisfying. And I started performing with a rock band, and
Really?
that was sort of like my rock and roll dream come true, because I can't sing or play an instrument, but suddenly I'm in front of a band and they're rocking out, and it's awesome.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
And I mean, like the thing that I must admit, would terrify me about being involved in weddings at all is that it's such a high stress day, right? There's it seems like there's a lot that can go wrong. Is there a particular wedding where you thought, oh my God, I'm in trouble? Are there funny wedding stories? I imagine there are funny wedding stories.
Yeah, people often ask me about my disaster stories from weddings, but I actually don't have that many. I think I've been very blessed with my clientele.
Good.
Maybe because I'm quite easygoing, I like attracts like. I don't know. I've done some pretty wacky weddings though. I did an Alice in Wonderland themed wedding.
Ooh.
It was the only wedding where I've been late, but by their request, because I was the white rabbit.
That's awesome.
So I had to hide in the dunes and set up the PA and then get changed in my white rabbit costume and wait for all the guests to arrive. And then when they're in position, I came out with my little pocket watch saying, I'm late for a very important date.
Oh, that's sweet. And you were hiding in the dunes. It was a beach wedding, I guess.
Yeah, it's amazing I didn't get arrested, actually.
What could possibly go wrong? You're just hiding, dressed as a, sort of like a children's cartoon character, peering out of the dunes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And you. The other thing you do is make a podcast, right?
Correct.
Yeah. More than a stealin', more than a wheelin'.
More than a wheelin'. Just think
I love
about
it.
that Boston song. I love a good music pun.
Yeah.
Yes, the podcast is a recent thing. Well, I started last year. We've had one season. And it's in two parts. The first part, I interview creatives of all kinds of disciplines and just try to get inside their mind about their process. But I also ask my listeners to send me in creative prompts, and then I write a poem based on those prompts, and I do it on the show every week.
Great.
Sometimes I'll choose one prompt, sometimes I'll choose several, and a prompt could be anything. It could be a bottle of Maduri,
sure,
of hot plant, a bucket. And because I've always found writing the prompts really helpful, because when you sit down to write about anything, that can be paralysing. But if someone throws some subjects at you, it brings me into new worlds. And as I say on the show, these poems literally would not exist without the people who sent the prompts in. So it invests the listener into the show as well.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's been a bunch of fun.
Yeah. Would you do a poem for us now?
I will, actually. I brought one along with me. So we had our first live show for the podcast, and it was all themed around dogs. So shout out to the pets who won those awards before. And so this is a short poem I wrote about dogs, and it's kind of inspired by the death of a beautiful dog called Bee. So shout out to Bee. Dogs know the secret of the world. In the past, the present, and the future, I am a dog. Because why would you be anything else? Dogs know the secrets of the world, and they try to deliver them to us all the time. We take the secret of the world and we gaze upon it, trying to decipher its code, but a mangy old tennis ball covered in slobbery spit is a difficult code to decipher. But we do not judge. We hold the very secret of the universe aloft and we fling it back into the world. And then the secret is delivered back to us by the most loyal of creatures. And that's why, to quote what I believe is the greatest song ever written by Australian band The Fauves, dogs are the best people. They make us involuntarily smile. They make us voluntarily smile. They are always there at the opening of the door. They return us to the state of a child. In the past, in the present, and the future, in my most secret of secret worlds, I am always a dog. Because why would you want to be anything else?
Ladies and gentlemen,
thank you.
Please thank Sean Whelan. Tonight's musical comedian is hot off winning the award for the best cabaret at the 2018 Melbourne Fringe Festival for her show I Have a Face. She's bringing the same award-winning show to this year's Melbourne International Comedy Festival from the 8th to the 21st of April. Please welcome Jude Pearl.
Thank you. So I assume that, like me, you're all a big fan of heartbreaking 80s power ballads. And so I wanted to write a heartbreaking 80s power ballad, and that's what this is. What does it mean to be in love? I look in your eyes, but your eyes are closed. I ask you to open them, but you're asleep. How can you love me when you're asleep? Because our love is like a giraffe that couldn't reach the leaves. It's like an oasis without any palm trees. Our love is like watermelon with too many seeds. We should have got seedless watermelon. When was the last time we watched Sister Act 2? It's such a good movie. We should watch it again. My only problem with that film is I feel like there's a couple of tiny little plot holes. like how come Lauryn Hill knows the dance at the end, even though she dropped out of the choir to the last minute. Because our love is like an atlas from 1958. It's like wearing pants that are made of heartbreak. Our love is like a painting that you just can't hang straight. No matter how hard you try, you just can't make him straight, hang it straight. And this bed feels so much bigger now. It's probably 'cause I bought a bigger bed. The old bed was doing a number on my back, and it was falling apart, just like my heart. Yeah, I am emotional. Like a cannelloni filled with empty dreams. Our love is like the silhouette of a broken soda stream. Oh, I didn't even want to get a soda stream anyway. Said our love is like a meerkat trapped in a pillowcase. It's like a daffodil made of toxic waste. Our love is like toilet paper stuck to your face. How did it even get there in the first place? Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jude Pearl. And you can see Jude at Melbourne International Comedy Festival, and we will see you next week on the Mainland. Good night.